I'm sure 21st century is going to talk about empathy more than anything else, because we see all the problems happening around. We see the world is in turmoil and the way we are going and the way we are moving. I work in gaming. I was doctor, I left it, and I started this company. Last 14 years, we have been working in amazing game applications across the globe. And I'm fortunate to be here at KIT. Disparity and challenge is the reality of the life right now. And that's where actually we are. If you see these graphs and see any data of the world, you will always realize that there are the richest people who hold something like 84% of the global wealth, and the poorest of the poor, the last bottom of pyramid, just have 1.4% of the global wealth. So you can imagine how much money people have. Actually, the problem started somewhere in 1750 with Industrial Revolution. We realized that as human beings, we can shift from hand production to water power, to steam, to machines, and maybe to the factories. We needed actually what we expected out of this Industrial Revolution. We said that it will create happiness, comfort. We will have smiling people everywhere. We will have sustainable planet, and the poverty will be no more. So that was the kind of a dream we all carried 275 years ago. And to sustain the Industrial Revolution, what we brought as an education system is called STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which actually, if you see, the KIT also is structured the same way. 275 years later, what we have is 6 billion people who are unhappy, poor, and hungry. Ice is melting. Wars, crime, cheating, disrespect is increasing. Sorrow, part of the life. Gaps are increasing. And the biggest disease of the 21st century, as a doctor, as a psychiatrist, I know, it's depression and loneliness. People are getting lonely, despite the connected world and the technology we have. And we always believed, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is a family. And that was the kind of a legacy we had. What we really forgot was these two things, the social emotional skills, which actually should be part of the entire education system, or the pluralism, which actually tells us and connects us to the rest of the world. Let's watch this small movie, because this is a case study from textile industry, and it connects to what I'm going to speak later on and why empathy is more important. It brings out where the things are produced and where the things are being used. So let's watch.
Friday's shopping mania is still playing out tonight at malls across America.
In some places across this country tonight, it's as if someone announced we're in danger of running out of stuff, and those who need stuff had better go out and buy it now because it's going away forever.
Walmart doing more than 10 million transactions in the first 4 hours of the frenzy. A record 15,000 people at Macy's in New York City. Shoppers hung tough.
Black Friday will be the single largest day of the retail year. Certainly in the case of Macy's, we'll do more business on this day than on any other day of the year.
Nation, this orgy of Christmas shopping proves America is back. We are once again, yes, oh yes, we are once again spending money we don't have on things we don't need to give to people we don't like. Yeah, USA, 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 USA.
I've kept my grip so tight, I won't let anyone get in my way. I want beautiful things, golden rings, and I get what I want. I live just to get what I want, and I want it all. I want it all, and I want it all, and I need you to get it.
Now, when I see this child as a doctor, I know that so much dirt around him, so much toxic material around him. I don't know if that was my child, how I am going to react to it. Whether I will allow my child and my wife, possibly, or my mother, to be like that. I'm not sure. And then we are buying things without even doing anything. So empathy, it's really in danger. Empathy is really, we are going too away from. Barack Obama said once that empathy deficit is more of a worry than federal deficit. And this is American president saying about the empathy, the statement. Jeff Bezos, the Amazon, he said that the employees lacking empathy will be purged. And he was already talking 1 year ago on Wall Street, the new HR which is going to be set. The new HR in MBA is going to be not the degrees you have. Deloitte already announced that they are not going to look for degrees anymore. They are going to look at person. And that's the new HR we are going to talk about in 21st century. This is Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream company which was founded in a very small part of the US bordering Canada called Vermont. The CEO says that empathy is not the flavor of the day. And he is making a very powerful statement. He actually donated a lot of money. I started analyzing a lot of data and I found very interesting data here. This is x-axis and they are talking about next week, next year, lifetime and children's lifetime as attributes. And here they are talking about family, neighborhood, nation and world and possibly galaxies here. And what they see, what you see, is that most of the people who can think about the world and the children's lifetime are already missing. Now this is what actually is happening. We are actually not even thinking even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month beyond us. Possibly maybe when it comes to investments we are thinking about it, but not in terms of global. So how we can intervene with such a challenge of disparity, such a challenge of crookedness which is developing, how we are going to really intervene. Now these are the factors I thought are going to come in the education system in a big way. I started proposing a model where we could add 2 E's in the STEM because we cannot challenge STEM. We need bridges, we need roads, we need rockets, we need to go to Mars and we need to do so many things. But just adding E before the STEM, empathy, a strong E, and a small e which is ecology and environment is going to create this model which is STEM. Now how we are going to work on it? One of the very interesting things which we lose in the education system right now in our own lives is that can we really be someone else's shoes? Can we really live a life like that? Or can we see the world through someone else's eyes? This we lack because we know actually I had to earn 100 out of 100 and then I go away and I really get something. Of course, there is evidence across the globe and of course this is the guy, you know about it, who started looking beyond it. Now the global change will happen, what Lakshmi said, is because somebody has to have a core experience of empathy and we get it. Like you stand up and clap, you see that sand presentation and you get moved. So there is an element of human emotion which is very deep and which will not go because it's in our genetics. So somebody has to have a core experience. It should be shared as collective mind and possibly we have to create action. You cannot just be empathetic and doing nothing. So that cannot really go well. Now, one of the things which is available right now is technology. And technology is all pervasive. Everybody is carrying mobile, we know. I started going into gaming because of 2 reasons. One, being a doctor, I was empathetic. I know actually how patients behave and how people die. And when you are really saving them, how they really look into your eyes and change your life. 2 things happen when you are talking about real lives and games. One is that both have suddenness, that suddenly you meet someone and you get moved, or there is an event which happens suddenly in front of you and you don't really know. A lot of things are surprise in the life, and like in the game, you get killed sometimes. Dynamicity of life, the challenges which come, and awards and winning. So life and gaming are highly connected. And because they are connected and they provide the same kind of methodology, you learn a lot from the gaming. And that's what the life education is all about. We added one more layer to that. We started calling it as purposeful gaming. So the game which you play possibly on the mobile are not really having a lot of purpose, but there could be a game which could be like that. There are they are very simple games, but yet very powerful. They can be strategic, highly role-playing games, teaching about life and values. They can promote empathy and nobler instincts, which are learned. There is no eye candy approach. People are talking about UI, user interface, more than what happens behind that, because you have to create a facade. The building should have a glass facade. What happens inside the building, nobody is bothered. So facade is the theme for the 21st century, but no eye candy is the possibly coming up. Meaningful with a purpose and learning and educational. We were at Tata Trust in Mumbai, and they challenged us, saying that they had done this research in Vidarbha, where farmers are committing suicide. And they said, can you come up with a kind of a game or simulation which anybody can play? And they had these big Excel sheets and the data collected from the field. And we created this game called Chakravyuh, where you are born as farmer with the family. It's highly dynamic, and then certain attributes, and you live a life of a farmer. It's somebody else's life. You get farm, you get actually something to sow, and then you grow something, and then actually you either end up in a loan or you don't have money left. Now actually when you play, this game can be played by 8th standard guy, or we do workshops all over the world using this game, and people learn from this game how farmers are really talking about. The big data in the world, which everybody is talking right now, this data from Tata Trust was converted into a game. And there is a big data which is sitting right across everywhere. You see any of these logos and you will see that there is a data, infant mortality data, how women die, what Lakshmi was talking about, that how people are distributed and disparate in this world. Huge data. I met this guy again when I was traveling in California, a person called Bob Runyan. He was trying to design a game using this big data, which is open, and trying to make sense out of that data, creating a simulator layer on top of this data, creating a life, and then possibly we can play that life. I met him, and it was really a life-changing thing for me. He came up with this game called Real Lives, which enables you to live one of the billions lives in any country in the world. It's a role-playing game where there are 193 countries, real countries of the world. There are 195 countries right now. Palestine is recently added. But what you do actually, you are born in the game and you die in the game. And then there are several attributes of events, life events which happen, and you have to take certain life decisions. So this game actually fluctuates between something which goes as dangerous thing, or something which is critical, and something which is happiness. And you start learning so many things. And this is where I found that this could be a very powerful tool, what we are talking as empathy, that somebody who can really play somebody else's life, or somebody can live somebody else's life and see the world from a different thing. This game has been researched by very powerful agencies and universities across the world. There has been a PhD in Germany on this game. So we started getting a lot of evidence of that. And forget about its serious nature. On CNET.com, out of 1,200 simulation games, currently we rank 3rd. We are above Flight Simulator, which is Microsoft product. And we are 3rd. When you put this additional things like the user and editor ranking, we are actually really 2nd or 3rd. Now that's what the fun is, that you create a game which is highly educational or serious, and you go on open market and still you make a sense, and a lot of gamers across the world are buying this game. So one of the challenges we have taken is that how youth or young people can be enabled, how they can be inspired, and how they can be empathetic. So one of the things we said that it has to be a game or a social network, because these are the two methodologies and technologies people are going to use across the globe. This is the UI of the game, which is cloud-based now, which is going to be launched maybe in 3 months from now. Amazing set of people are working right now in Pune and US on this game. What we also did in the new model is that this game was connected with the social network, and we started calling this new generation social network as purposeful network, because purposefulness is what going to matter a lot in the coming days. The second is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and these are 17 goals United Nations has defined. Nobody possibly knows how these goals are and what these goals actually are going to achieve. But unless and until we deal with these goals, this is not going to go. So we are actually helping United Nations to make people across the globe, in China, Japan, US and Europe and India and South America, what the sustainability is all about through this gaming experience. Empathy, sharing, learning, actionability, and change making. This is the paradigm we are going to follow. This paradigm is possible in this game, which is real life. One small video, which is created by a teacher in US, Noah Kauser. He's a photographer and videographer again. He's a teacher in a school. And these young children are talking about empathy, a small clip.
We judge people when we do not understand them.
People say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you, as if that were true at all.
Empathy towards others encourages hope, encourages love, or encourages tolerance.
Respect people's feelings. Even if it doesn't mean anything to you, it could mean everything to them.
Empathy shows the people that are hurting that someone cares and that they are not alone.
Instead of putting others in their place, put yourself in their place.
No prescription works like empathy can.
We must step out of our comfort zone and be the reason someone smiles today.
Empathy is like a wildfire. A simple spark can ignite a chain reaction of compassion.
Empathy can change the world, starting with just one person, and that one person could be you.
So at the end, the people you meet, the travel you do, the real life experiences you gather, the technology you use or develop eventually, if there is a purpose, whatever you do in life, you can make a difference and you can be a change maker. Thanks.